Air New Zealand. Yes, it's been a long time coming. I haven't talked about some New Zealand stocks for a while, but I thought it's time to talk about them. Air New Zealand has really been sideways for the last year or so, even longer. We want improvement. Can we get it at the moment? No. Why? Because government has control of Air New Zealand. When that changes, look out. They still got some loans to pay off, all the stuff from the Crown. But once that comes up, the big play for Air New Zealand is if they want to get back to real profitability, they got to get back to profitability for a start. That's one thing Air New Zealand is failing at the moment. They got to get to profitability, and then next pay back the dividend. This stock was a huge play for dividend players, but we have not seen a dividend for quite some time since the Rona. So we're still waiting another couple of years at least before a dividend comes back. But that's why a lot of people are investing. That's why it's staying steady-ish. But wait for it to go boom. Yes, this is a stock that I'm invested in. Do your own research before you invest into any stock. In New Zealand, you can buy it in Australia in the ASX or New Zealand in the NSX. There's different ways you can invest into this company. You've got Sharesies in both New Zealand and Australia. You've got Hatch in New Zealand. You've got Stake in New Zealand. So you've got a few options there of online platforms, and obviously in Australia you've got eToro and a few others you can look into when you're wanting to invest. But one thing as a shareholder that I do not like is there is no benefits to you at all as being a shareholder. Now, to me, you should get decent discounts on flights. To me, you should be able to get a decent discount, especially if you have a certain amount in there. If you got, say, 10K or more, something like that, I think you should get some perks of being able to get flights for cheaper, get some business flights for cheaper. I mean, there's got to be some sort of incentive for you to, or even just getting free upgrades, something like that. Give back something to the shareholder of your company. That's been something that has really made Air New Zealand very bad. It's one of those things with Air New Zealand. It's just been disappointing. Obviously, a year or so ago, they had you could buy in and get some more shares of Air New Zealand as they went to make some money. But obviously, the price dropped from there. Obviously, but it is up from where you got the price, but nothing huge. Only 20 cents roughly at the moment. Roughly from where you could invest into the shares off the market, which helped improve my cost price. But as a lot of investors into Air New Zealand right here, right now, unless you've bought in the last few months or so, basically it's been downhill for a long time. Really has not been anywhere near where you want it to be. For the last 3 years, it's gone down. So, but it's a good investment opportunity, I think. Profitability is the main thing for New Zealand. Obviously, they've got to get more people buying their stuff at the right price and make it profitable for them. When they start making that sort of money, then you will see the start of the price going up to maybe $1. But it will not go to $2, $3 until the dividend returns. So that is a couple years away. So there's two ways to look at it. Wait for 2 years, see if that happens, or just keep gradually just buying more and more, or just put a certain amount in straight away if you want. At this price, I don't think you got an issue. Boom, just put it in, and then just watch it grow over time. Now, if you're young, this is great. But if you're 65, I would say it's a solid stock. But if you're trying to make some money like now, in the next year or two, this is not the stock for you. This is definitely a long-term play, and it's not going to be an absolute winner like a Tesla or something like that. No. So it's only going to be a solid stock, which maybe triple your money from here, or if you're lucky 4 times. but that's probably a good 5-10 years down the track at least. Yeah, for me, Air New Zealand has struggled. I was struggling before the Rona, obviously. They haven't been that profitable for a while, but if you go back way back to the early 2000s, there was a $5 stock, $6, $8 stock, so they really were flying once they opened, but then it sort of just went woo down from there. So down to and it has struggled for a while to really gain any traction from its starting point. Started off flying, but it's just really from pretty much anywhere from about 2000 end of 2001 onwards. So there's 20 years you've lost money in the stock, pretty much. There's a couple of times when it had gone up a fair decent amount, but it hasn't really been a game changer in New Zealand. So in New Zealand needs a lot more work to be done to get itself up and going. I really do believe the best thing for New Zealand is that this will be a dividend play. That's all they can do is absolutely just nail down their dividend, and they will be sweet. But that's about 2 years away. So what does New Zealand need to do right here, right now, is give some benefits to the shareholders. That's one key. You want more shareholders? Give them some benefits. Yes, and give them more benefits. I think that's the best way for them to do it. Give them free meal upgrades. You know, just stuff like that. They just pay for a normal ticket, you get the meal free. All that little stuff. Just give them those little perks, and you'll see more and more people buy in. Especially for people that live in New Zealand or travel to New Zealand regularly, this is a good place for them to start. But obviously, number two, and the most important one I've been talking about this whole thing, profitability. Get yourself back to profitability. They've struggled to be profitable for a few years now. They need to get themselves back to profitability and really start making some money. Until that comes, it's not going to be smooth sailing, but I think at the moment the price from here, it'll no doubt in my mind in 5 years time it will definitely double its money. More, can it triple? Yes. Nothing's guaranteed. It could continue to plateau and disappear off the surface. So do your own research before you invest into anything. But Air New Zealand is not my biggest play, but it's definitely a big investment for me. It's not a game changer, don't get me wrong. This is just a bit of a investing back into the New Zealand economy. Got some money there with my roots and have it there. It's there, and I'm just putting a little bit in from time to time now just to get that up a little bit more. But it's not really it's a big part not a big part of my portfolio, but it's certainly a significant part. But for me, for you out there, big thing for New Zealand, they really, couple of years time is before they get the dividend. So you might want to wait a couple of years before you look at investing into New Zealand. That's one way to look at it. You can invest into other stuff and wait for New Zealand to come back with a dividend and then start getting that dividend money in. But then the only worry you have with that, once that is announced, the price will go up pretty dramatically quickly, and it'll be over $1 at least, and could be $1.50 pretty quickly when they say the dividend's back. That's the only question. So it's a bit of a gain. Can you gain somewhere else for a couple of years and then buy in? Or do you just buy in now, sit and forget, and watch your money grow later? That's the way to go. They have to be a dividend play. If they do not come a dividend play again, it's not a good stock. So that's the only reason I'm investing in New Zealand now, because I'm looking at a dividend stock in a couple of years' time. That is what they promised. So if they promise that back, then look out. The stock will go up, and then just keep rolling that dividend money and able to spend that somewhere else. That's the way I'm looking. I'm not a huge investor into that now, but I mean, this is a stock that you don't have to have a lot of money to get a share. Like, 72 cents in Australia, 76 in New Zealand. It's very simple, very much anyone could buy into this company pretty easily. But if you're wanting a game changer, it's not a game changer. Simple as that. Not a game changer. You want a game changer, you go somewhere else. This stock is not for you. It's not a game changer. It's a solid stock, and hoping a dividend comes in 2 years. That is a lot to hope for. You can always invest into other stocks that give you a dividend, and maybe take, when you get that dividend every 3 months or quarterly, 6 months, invest it into New Zealand that way. That could be a way to do it, but that's one way you want to look at it. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back with another video soon at Financial Guru. Like and subscribe.